Good evening. I'd like to call the Lincoln Way 210 Board of Education meeting for June 18, 2026 to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, can you please call the roll?
Dana Berthold.
Here.
Katherine Johnson.
Here.
Joseph Costick.
Here.
Richard Lacine.
Present.
Caitlin Olenek.
Here.
Deidre Stokes. Aaron Janik.
Here. All right, first up on the agenda for the evening is the recognition of Lincoln Way West softball state champions.
They will. All right, good evening. Earlier this month, the Lincoln Way West varsity softball team made history by becoming the first team to win a state championship for the Warriors. On behalf of the Board of Education and Administration, I'd like to congratulate the Warriors on becoming the 2026 IHSA 4A state champions. We're so proud of you and thankful to you for representing our school district in such a positive light. I am honored to introduce head coach Heather Novak to say a few words about this year's season and introduce the student athletes that are with us tonight.
You guys want to come over here? Okay. Good evening. Thank you so much for having us here tonight. We actually have 4 of our seniors and our one and only freshman on the team. So we have senior Reese Forsyth. We have senior Molly Finn. Freshman Regan Connolly, senior Abby Bruggeman, and then senior Reese Rourke. So we are just so extremely proud of our girls. They were just unbelievable to watch in the postseason. If anyone was able to watch them, follow along. Their focus, their determination. I think Abby pitched every pitch of the postseason, but she had told me right early on in the postseason, she said, Coach Novak, our team chemistry is off the charts right now. So just watching them together, just how much joy they brought to each other, to our program, Lincoln Way West. We just could not be more proud of this group. And then the overwhelming support that we have received all throughout the postseason, hearing from their teachers, hearing from staff members, hearing from district administrators, just a lot of people who were so supportive of our girls. It's just been overwhelming, the whole experience, but just so proud of this group to be the first in Lincoln Way West history to bring back a state championship. So congratulations again.
We would, Coach, before you guys take off, we'd like to have you guys come up in front of the logo here. We'll take a couple pictures. Dr. Robbins, you need to hop up here as well, please.
And what a way for Dr. Robbins.
Yeah. All of us too. Yeah.
Right. Where do we go? It's fine. Sorority squat there, you got it.
All right, let's put in a little bit tighter, Dr. Robbins.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Good job, ladies. Good. Thank you. Seniors, good luck.
Thank you.
No, they were phenomenal. What a great way to end it, all right?
Yeah. And it was mentioned, Dr. Robbins, be his last board meeting as well. Thank you for all
Yeah.
you've done for our district, Ted. Thank you, Ted.
Yeah, and he's leaving.
Yeah, he's out.
All right, moving right along. No one has signed up for public comment. We'll move into the budget hearing. We have no one signed up for public comment on that. Do we need a motion to open the budget hearing? So I would entertain a motion to open the budget hearing.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor? All right,
Aye.
budget hearing is open. Mike?
Very little to say. Obviously, we discussed this amended budget in April. This was for an accounting and auditing rule to move capital lease payments into Fund 30. That budget's been on display, the amended version, since the April board meeting. And at that time, we presented a slight operating surplus with fund balances at 34%. This final version's about $50,000 different, but on a $170 million total budget. Obviously, that's very minor. We just made a few adjustments between salary and benefit accounts, reflecting those now. That helps us as we plan for FY27. Nothing else to report in terms of the numbers. There is an action item on the agenda later for board consideration to adopt this year's amended budget.
Any questions for Mike? All right, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the budget hearing. So moved. We have a motion and second. All in favor? Aye. All right, budget hearing is closed. Moving right along. Next up is the tentative fiscal year 2027 budget presentation.
Moving on to the upcoming fiscal year, tonight we would like to present the tentative version of FY27. Typically, this is presented in August when we kick off the school year, and then the final version adopted in September. Because of how the board meeting dates fell this year, we need to ensure, as you know, that there's 30 days in between the meetings for that budget to be on public display. So we're presenting this earlier and doing the tentative budget in June. There's some good news to this. We've worked diligently to finalize our staffing, salaries, and insurance trends to predict budgets in those areas, and then we've been able to work with our department heads and building heads to finalize their budget allocations as well. At the same time, we've not yet fully closed this fiscal year. So I would just like to say much is subject to change just because it is June rather than August. On the revenue side, for example, what we don't collect from property taxes here in June, and you hear me say this every year, what we don't collect in June obviously then will be adjusted and accounted for in July and subsequent months. CPI, certain utility costs, as those trend higher as they have in the last month or two, if you've been watching CPI and inflation trends, will adjust in those areas. What we'd like to do tonight is walk through the work that has gone into this tentative budget at a high level, and then still adopt or bring for board consideration to adopt the final budget in September. And at the August board meeting, what we would bring are some kind of noteworthy or material updates, things that have changed over the summer, just to keep the board apprised of those, and then still adopt in September. So moving right along, you can follow along in your packet materials or here on the slide presentation. As the board knows, our annual budgets are highly dependent on local revenues, predominantly, as you can see here, 71% property tax receipts. We do get about 11% of our operating revenue coming through evidence-based funding. We had seen some nice increases there from the state as we were catching up as a Tier 1 district. I think we're going to pretty solidly move into Tier 2 now. Those have leveled off. And then only 4% total of our operating revenue comes from other state and federal sources. So as we've discussed in the past, highly locally funded. Local operating revenue projected to increase 4.9%. This includes the tax levy, and it does include other local revenue. So that would be rental income from our recent rental agreement, and then feeder district transportation payments, as well as investments and other minor lines. State revenues predicted to go up very moderately in terms of evidence-based funding. We are continuing to budget for mandated categorical payments. We don't feel it's appropriate at this time to start planning on or budgeting fewer than the 4. Obviously, we'll keep you in the loop if the state continues to be delayed. One thing we are going to watch, and may be a noteworthy update here at the August meeting, is if or as the state continues to prorate those categoricals in a more extreme way, because that would be a meaningful revenue decrease for us. That would change this picture a little bit in terms of those. So that'll be something that we refine in the coming months. Federal revenues, a very modest decrease. A lot of that's just carryover timing with the IDEA and title grants, but those grants are largely flat. For operating expenditures, salaries and benefits continue to account as you can see here on this pie chart, for roughly $7 of every $10 that we spend in terms of our operating budget. Supplies and purchase services do make up the next largest chunk. Capitalized equipment here, that's the light blue. It shows is only about 5%. Just one thing to note, capital spending is very low in our operating budget. We do obviously have the higher capital spend in our Fund 60 capital projects for our field improvements, things like that, as well as Life Safety Fund for the HVAC improvements that are underway. Overall, salaries and benefits are expected to increase about $3.6 million for FY27. This has already accounted for or baked in, if you will, any attrition or retirements that we've experienced. As Dr. Murphy and our building teams work through any final adjustments to staffing, we'll account for those in the future updates to this budget. For services and supplies, I want to talk a little bit about a couple service contracts that we have. A few months ago, the board approved our new athletic trainer agreement, if you recall, and we did see kind of a market increase there, right? Both in terms of the trainer rates, just with where that market is, and we added an additional athletic trainer just to provide even better service for our schools and for our students. So that was one that was higher. On the other hand, later in this agenda tonight, one of the action items for your consideration is a contract extension with our custodial cleaning company, GSF. Mr. Welke and I met with them, and they have agreed, after some discussion, to doing a 2-year increase that was built into the original contract. We're ending, this is year 3 of 3, and we had extension years baked in, and they've agreed to do those extension years at 2.4%. which, based on how things are going in terms of wages and contracts like this, we feel that's an extremely controlled percentage. We're very, very happy with that. So that's a big area of spend for us and something that's a positive news for the budget. Big picture for the operating budget, if you take a look at this slide, the light red column on the right, we have $133.4 million tentatively slated for operating revenue and $131.2 million in operating expenditures. When we presented the 5-year financial forecast recently, we talked about this being a tighter budget year. That does remain true. As you see toward the bottom there, that $2 million number, we've been able to transfer $4.5 million a year for capital projects. In the 5 cast, as well as right now, that's currently sitting at 2. However, this keeps us with an operating surplus and a maintenance of our fund balances. We know that we have more than $2 million in project needs for the summer of 2027. And so that will be a goal for us as we refine this to get that number up a little bit, but we will only increase it if we can keep us where we need to be in terms of stability financially. We talked through some areas to watch for refinement already. Some of these are timing dependent. Somehow the FY27 budget looks will be, as I mentioned, property taxes, but also the pay apps from contractors for our life safety projects. That some of those things are timing dependent. Monthly and even every other week, we're taking a look at CPI and insurance trends. So these will be things that we watch and make refinements for. And then our overall recommendation for the tentative budget is summarized here. We have an operating surplus. Once again, I'd like to highlight, if you look at the third column from the left, the third column of financials, second gray column, the second gray column from the left is our transportation fund. And we do have a planned deficit in that transportation fund. That is the final partial payment for the bus purchasing. This fiscal year, we don't have a new debt certificate. We don't have another purchasing round for buses. We don't need to buy any more right now. So we have no revenue stream. We just have the expense going out the door. That's planned for. That's baked in. We knew it. So that's expected, but we still have the operating surplus. And at this time, we would be predicted to end at 33.7% fund balance. Again, very tentative, but this is the work that's gone into where we are for FY27. Happy to take any questions you may have.
Okay. Any questions from Dr. Dubek? Just one brief question from me. said there would be maybe a decrease in the categoricals or proration of them. How do we get notified about that? Is it just, we're owed $1 million and 700,000 shows up? Or do they give us a call, hey, next categorical payment will be X?
No, that's a great question. So we find out sometimes that there are components of it that are in the governor's state budget that gets approved. There are other components that are finalized later. That's actually why school districts' budgets are done in August and September typically. The corporate world, you'd say, well, you're already almost a quarter of the way through the fiscal year. Why are you doing your budget now? And so what Mr. Reeser and I in the transportation world have to submit our annual transportation claim. We do that over the summer. We don't receive finalized amounts for what the reimbursements will be, which is one of these mandated categoricals, and how extremely or not it's prorated until August. And so that's part of the timing for why these can be refined more later. Yep.
Like, worst case scenario is that 1.5 million mandated categoricals. What if they don't end up paying out?
Well, if they're delayed and we don't receive one of those quarterly payments, we're still owed that quarterly payment. It would just be a timing difference in a different fiscal year. And that's why, there's different philosophies. That's something we can certainly discuss if you would like. We're still owed the categorical. At some point, they will need to get caught up. The proration is the piece that really materially affects us, right? Because that, once they say it's prorated, and if it's $300,000 less, it's $300,000 less. So that's what we want to track, bring those updates to you guys in August for whatever we know at that time, and then again, further refinements for September.
All right, any further questions?
Could you expand a little bit on the 2 million for capital projects? And I know that's a very tentative figure. When will that get refined?
So that'll be something as we close this year, and we see where we stand, and then we take a look at our capital improvements plan, our 5-year, 10-year plan, right? What we typically do is come back to you guys in that August, September timeline and start early discussions anyway, right? And so by that time, again, was very conservative here. And so if that's 3 million, 3.5 million, we'll know that by August. That will then help us with our planning for projects.
And to that question, John, it's a good question. We're pretty much locked in with several of our expenditure numbers. That's fair to say.
Yes.
Right now, the expenditure numbers we feel pretty good about. It's those revenue adjustments that right now we're conservative as we look at it, as we see what happens here with CPI, as we see what happens with some of the state funding. Certainly our hope is that's going to open up a little bit. We can get another $1.5 million into that dollar amount. $4 million has kind of always been our earmark target, just to keep up with where we want to be in our 5 and 10-year plans. Now, obviously, we took out a large chunk with these HVAC projects we're doing, but our parking lots, our roofs, our sidewalks, everything else is still lined up and going to need to be addressed. But that's a good question.
All right, anything else? All right, thank you. Moving on, we have the consent agenda, items F1 through F7? Yep, F7. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can you please open the vote?
Voting is open. Vote is unanimous, motion passes.
All right, next up, under action items, is the presentation of invoices for May 22nd, 2026 through June 18th, 2026.
Motion to approve invoices in the amount of $7,749,240.
Got a motion, do we have a second? Any questions? Hearing none, can you please open the vote?
Voting is open. The vote is unanimous, motion passes.
Next up is the presentation of fiscal year 2027 invoices.
Motion to approve July invoices in the amount of $1,728,122
And 6 cents.
and 6 cents.
We have a
I'll
motion.
make
Do we-
that up if it doesn't count, since I forgot to read it.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Any questions? All right, hearing none. Can you please open the vote?
Voting is open.
I got passed over for treasurer again, 10 years in a row. So, I tell you.
Vote is unanimous, motion passes.
All right, next up is the treasurer's report for May of 2026.
In the month of May, revenues totaled 11.4 million. Expenses for the month were 11.3. District's total cash balance on May 31st was $48.3 million. Through the end of May, operating budget, 65.2% of budgeted operating revenues received and 85.5% of operational spending has occurred. Through May 31st of last year, comparison data were 62.3% and 86.4%. So both operating revenues and expenses are trending appropriately. In May, we held liquid rates at 3.6%. We have now made multiple new investments and are in discussion for additional because of property tax receipts now hitting the books in May, and we have more distribution dates here in June, obviously. May's cash receipts and disbursements were in line with predicted amounts. In particular, largest cash flow component in the district's control is that of salaries and benefits. At this time, it shows us ending within the original budgeted figures in those areas. Happy to take any other questions you might have.
Any questions for Dr. Dubek? Anything in the next 12 days you're worried about?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good news.
Yes, sir.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report for May 2026 as presented. We have a motion and a second. Can you please open the vote?
Voting is open. Vote is unanimous, motion passes.
Next up, we have the joint agreement with District 843, operations and maintenance.
District 210, we provide certain operational and maintenance-related services for District 843, as you know. We do review those annually between the two district administrations. So some examples: inspections, evaluations, mechanical and structural issues, bid documents, helping review or develop those when needed, fire safety compliance, and then assistance with securing contractors as appropriate when needed and when they need support. The 2026-27 agreement can be viewed in your packet materials. For the services that District 210 will provide, the rate that District 843 will pay us this year is $44,366. That's a CPI increase over last year. No other changes to the agreement or relationship otherwise.
All right. Any questions? All right. I'd entertain a motion to approve the joint agreement with District 843 for operations and maintenance as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Can you please open the vote?
Voting is open. Vote is unanimous, motion passes.
Next up, we have the intergovernmental agreement between Lincoln Way Area Special Education District 843 and Lincoln Way Community High School District 210 for use of the McKay Education Center.
This is an annual agreement that we bring forward. We have taken over, it's, I guess, probably been 5 years now, the educational component of the McKay Center. So we provide the instruction, the services. We utilize the building as a member of 843. Essentially, we pay for the cost of being there. And we've just asked that we update the agreement for one more year. We're on a year-to-year right now with 843. There's some stuff going on in the state in terms of, I think we just got the go-ahead to charge outside rates for one more year. I don't know, Dana, if that's appropriate under that S fund. And so we made, 843 was growing, and now if outside group, or if outside districts pay the same rate as inside districts, there's going to have to be some more discussion in the future. But it's a year-to-year agreement right now. We would ask that we enter into one more year, and we continue to evaluate as we move forward. It's been great. It's been a great transition for us in our programming.
Any questions on the agreement? All right. With that, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agreement as presented. We have a motion and a second. Can you please open the vote?
Voting is open. Vote is unanimous, motion passes.
Next up is the Village of New Lenox Public Utility Easement Agreement.
I'll have Mike provide the overview. Chuck's here also to answer any questions about what we're going to kind of have to agree to. Go ahead, Mike.
Sure. So if you don't know, the Village of New Lenox is building a water treatment plant down Gauger and Laraway, just south of Laraway down there. And so it's a massive water recovery facility project, multiple pipelines connected to it. Phase one was to start building the treatment plant, and that happened in summer of 2024. Phase two is now to connect other pipelines to it. And so phase two needs to connect Nelson Road to Laraway Road, and it includes a new force main running down Haven Avenue to Nelson and New Lenox, and then gravity conveyance along Nelson to Illinois Highway, and ultimately to Gauger Road and down. And so you might say, perfect, why wouldn't they do that along Illinois to the intersection of Illinois and Gauger, and then down Gauger? What does this have to do with us? Because of other utility easements and other things underground there, they cannot do that. And so what they need to do, and we met with them, Dr. Tingley, Mr. Welke, myself, we met with village officials and their project engineers to review the scope. What they would like to do, what they need to do to make this connection, is come down Nelson, make the turn on Illinois, and then go along the eastern edge of the Lincoln Way West property. Through the berm, through like the detention area, and then along the southern border over to our maintenance barn along Gauger, kind of there, and then under the train tracks, cross Gauger, and then go from there. So that requires public utility easement on our property. So to make that connection, it needs to go along there, along the campus. So they've requested that easement to install it and to maintain it. The agreement in your packet materials we have reviewed. It's been reviewed by legal counsel. It is 100% no cost to us. Might be some logistics along the way. But what they have promised to do is have a temporary easement for construction, have a permanent easement for this pipeline. I think it's, like 35 feet underground, but it's 8 foot wide with all the soil spoils and everything else. So it's kind of a big undertaking. And so especially on the south end, they will need to remove some things. And that includes potentially, it depends, once they get into the project, it's going to change, and that's where we need to sit with their engineers. But perhaps some trees, we believe they will go through a batting cage or two, and those will need to be taken down and then restored. The restoration, and we made sure there was protective language that we added in here for our district to say equal to or better than, and as judged by us. So
They agreed to that?
yeah, so the whole, they will control it, they will handle it, it's all their cost, it's all their work, but this is the easement that has to get done. And then when they're finished, that will be 35 foot underground, it will all be put back, they'll do the grading, but they will also restore batting cages. And some of our conversations are, okay, you take down a 50-foot, what is equal to or better? You take down a 50, 60-foot tree, putting one with a 1.5-inch caliper is not the same. So that might need to be discussions with us where they replace it with 3 or 4 smaller trees, and we'll have to work that out. But the bigger pieces were the batting cages, potentially sidewalks or anything else that they might hit along the dugouts, yeah. So that will all be restored after the fact. The timeline here, I want to make sure I don't forget. I think they're going to start some of the construction here this fall, but this would not be until summer of '27 for us. And the portion of this pipeline where they're kind of actually affecting our property was, what, 3 to 6 months, something like that, right?
Correct. They would begin at the completion of softball and baseball season, and then have everything put back and ready to go for the following spring. So
Right.
there's a tight timeline to replace whatever has to come out, because we'll need to be back up and running by the end of March.
Right, yeah, right.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh.
I have a quick question. So most times with easements, they prevent you from actually building on top of it, or they make you aware of it. So the fact that they're going to restore the batting cages, are they movable structures? If they put them back, generally speaking, you're not supposed to expand on that area because they can charge that to you if you do
Right.
that. Now, if they have to take it down, they already know. So are we putting, I guess, or is it addressed in the agreement that if they restore the batting cages, that the fact that they're restored and that they're crossing this easement, that if they have to go and something's wrong with the pipe and they
Yeah.
have to go and break that back up, are they gonna charge that to us because they're putting it back?
No.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do understand, and no, they will not. Yep.
Okay.
That's addressed, and that's in the agreement between the two parties, that they're restoring and that we are allowed to have said structure. And it's not a building, I understand that,
Right.
but it's still a batting cage.
It
And
is.
how deep is that concrete? I mean, several feet thick, just so it doesn't, so we understand that it's on there, but so do they. And
Good,
that was
okay.
part of the agreement, so.
Excellent.
They're gonna, obviously, once they get there, and they've got a natural gas pipeline south of that they've got to stay away from. But once they get in and start digging and make the path and kind of refine it, they're hoping to miss as much as possible. I don't think they're intentionally trying to, take things out that they don't have to, but there's gonna be some impact.
stay away from the gas line.
Correct.
That is also running on the other side.
That's right. That's right. So,
Having spent many a nights on it, you're talking about the practice field, right? On the east side of the property, from Illinois Highway going south.
so they will have to, when they make the cut from heading north-south along the east side of the property to and Chuck, correct me if I'm saying it wrong, to the south, they will have to make a cut that's a 45 that will we'll probably have to take some fencing and we'll cut under some of that practice field. The batting cages I'm talking about, though, are down
Right.
on varsity.
So having coached football out there all them years, can we talk them into crowning that field that's settled since the original construction? It is and because it holds the water, it becomes concrete. I mean, rough it up. I mean, they're gonna destroy the truck paths. They can tell you whatever they want, but they're gonna beat that field up. But I mean,
Sure they are. Yeah, I understand.
that field, it just settled from the original build. It could really use a crown and some drainage at the end tunnels.
It's gonna be tricky with that, because in that easement, when they finish that trench.
Right.
There's 3 cleanouts in there that are 8 feet higher, that have a 30-foot circle around them. So that will continue to come west of that field.
Right. I mean, even if it's at the west side, and just to get the water standing off the field.
That's better than what was there, so that's what their promise is. So that's
Right.
what we'll get.
Right, exactly.
That's
Go out there with a laser.
duly noted, and we'll advocate for it. Yep,
I mean, they're gonna do all the, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And they got a
Absolutely.
ton of spoil to get rid of.
100%.
And will this cause any disruption to our water, to the school, or any of the electric? They know that we have all the
Should-
electronics and everything that we've just upgraded.
Yeah,
and-
it shouldn't affect water. The electric is
Guaranteed
under
it
there
will
for
at some
sure.
point, right?
Chuck is not going into this with a positive mental attitude.
Well, you know, with any project, right? Any construction project, that's what's gonna happen. So
We have
the timing
electric
of it, I
under
think,
there.
is important too, of
Sure.
when they're gonna be doing that, you can't cancel school for 2 weeks because they've.
Because they hit something.
They
No,
hit
you're
something.
exactly right.
100%.
Yeah.
That's where we walked it, and we will walk it several more times with them to make sure that, they know where we have all of our electric underground. Because that, you know, they might be looking at other easements and pipelines and all that, but we've got to be, and we will be involved in talking through that with them, because it's
Because fiber
definitely
optics
some
are
electric
not cheap to
underground.
replace, nor are they easy.
That's right.
So
That's
any
right.
of that kind of stuff that goes there is going to be a
So
problem.
this is the village project. Are they doing the work, or are they hiring, or, you know, putting out to bid, do you know?
It was put out to bid. Yeah, I don't remember the contractor's name, but it was put out to bid.
I assume in the unlikely event, probably during any of our lifetimes, that we add that wing onto West to fill, 'cause it's set up, what, for 3,500 kids? And that if we ever put that additional wing on, that would never be affected by
No,
this?
no,
Okay.
this is on the far, this would be on the far east and the
Gotcha.
far south.
Trying
It's
to
a good question, though.
turn
Yeah,
Lincoln
good
Way in my
question.
head.
Yep.
All right, well, that's just a pipe dream, but
So
I
no
don't know if
disruption
any
of
of
like
us will live to see
baseball
it, but you never
camp?
know.
They can still do all their things and.
Well, as we begin this process, baseball camps are during the day, and that's our next kind of wave of discussions. If we're not able to host camp, we will ask
Shift it?
permission to go up to Silver Cross to use the village fields there. Because during the day, on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah,
I believe
in the
those will be
morning.
available. So we'll have some options,
don't
and I
lose
know they would
revenue,
they'd be agreeable because they know this is a lot. And so if we're not able to be on those fields during June for camp, we would ask for some space. Yeah, it's a good question.
Any further questions? No? All right, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the Village of New Lenox Public Utility Easement Agreement as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can you please open the vote?
Voting is open. This vote is unanimous. Motion passes.
All right, next up is the Student Activities Report for May 2026.
Okay, for our month ended May 2026, the fund balance is $2,333,532 with revenues of $349,118. Expenditures of $568,843. We had two in the negatives. The large one, 2027 East, has already been taken care of at the time of the printing of this memo, and then the Boys Swim Central is just due to a timing difference. Ask that you accept the student activity summary as presented.
Can I get a motion to approve the Student Activities Report for May 2026 as
So
presented?
moved.
Second.
Any questions on it? No. All right, hearing none, can you please open the vote?
The vote is open. Vote is unanimous. Motion passes.
All right, next up is the second reading for the textbook adoption.
So the second reading, we only have one book to purchase this year, AP Business and Personal Finance. I ask the board approve this recommendation as presented.
Can I get a motion to adopt the textbook recommendation as presented? We have a motion. We have a motion and a second. Can you please open the vote?
Voting is open. Vote is unanimous. Motion passes.
Next up is our second reading for policies.
Once again, second reading, our quarterly issue from press. Nothing really earth-shattering here, just mostly footnotes and some language cleanup. Would be happy to answer any questions you may have, but we would recommend that we accept the press revisions as presented.
Any questions for Dr. Tingley on the policies?
Any changes to cell phone policy?
So, not yet. That's a very good question. The law, I guess, is going to be signed. It really won't change us because for high schools, they're still going to be allowed to use them in passing periods and during lunch. And that's kind of what we did. I had a couple different reporters reach out when it was passed, and I said it really doesn't have any impact. Our teachers have, some do the little cubby on the desk, some do a pencil case taped to the side of the desk, and our students have been really, really good about following the teacher's request to put your cell phone away. They do use them from time to time during assignment in class, obviously, but really no significant impact on us. We'll wait until that should come through press, Dana, the next quarter. So
Yeah, I
we'll
think
see
it's
what.
on the Senate floor right now. Yeah.
Is that where it's
I
at?
think that's where it's at.
Yeah,
It looks like it
I
will pass.
anticipate it being passed.
Yeah.
But I don't, as I said, I don't think any immediate impact to us. That's a very good question.
Are teachers provided with a kind of a hooks to like,
So whatever they want to do,
They do,
that comes
yeah.
through the department budget. So they coordinate that with the department chairs. Many departments in each building then are similar in terms of whether it's a little case on the desk or a zip on the side. Some do the old-fashioned cubbies in the front of the room.
Yeah.
So that's, a lot of those are department by department, and that comes out of their department budget.
All right. Any other questions? All right. With that, I entertain a motion to approve the updated policies as presented. We have a motion and a second. Can you please open the vote?
Voting is open. Vote is unanimous, motion passes.
All right. Next up is the amended fiscal year 2026 budget.
We would just ask to adopt the amended budget as presented. The summary, all the detail is before, and the resolution are all included in the backup material. Mike can answer any additional questions you may have.
Any questions on the amended budget? All right, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adopt the amended fiscal year 2026 budget as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Can you please open the vote?
Vote is open. Vote is unanimous, motion passes.
Next up is the tentative fiscal year 2027 budget.
Once again, this is more of a formality to accept the tentative budget, place it on display, and then schedule the public hearing as presented. Public hearing will be in September, correct, Mike? And so we will bring back any adjustments in August and then have it ready to go for board approval the next meeting.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to accept the fiscal year 2027 tentative budget, place it on display, and schedule a public hearing as presented.
second,
We have a motion and a second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. The votes are unanimous, motion passes.
All right, next up is our capital projects transfer.
Once again, this is our pre-funding of the capital projects that we've done, I want to say for probably six or 7 years now, if I'm not mistaken. It's been, yeah, sorry. But yeah, we've done it for several years, so we're asking to transfer 4.5 million for expenditures then in the 26-27 fiscal year. Mike, anything to add to that?
Nope.
So you approve the capital projects transfer as presented.
Any questions?
just to, like, any revenue that we make from North will also be put into Fund 62, right?
Correct. That's the plan, and what we will provide is detailed update as we start receiving those. We'll come back and say, okay, here's a month-by-month breakdown of either some cost differential or at the same time the revenue that we're gaining.
Yeah, based
Yep.
on CPI, yeah.
That's the plan, is to put that into, into capital projects.
Any other questions? All right, I entertain a motion to approve the permanent interfund transfer for capital projects as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please open the vote.
Voting is open. Votes are unanimous, motion passes.
All right, next up is the custodial services contract extension.
Mike, go ahead and give us a update on
Yep. As mentioned earlier, so the 3-year contract with GSF, we're ending that, and so we're looking at these extension years. Really no changes to the agreement otherwise. That's why you only see this one-page amendment. And this is just where they have the 26, 27 kind of extra service rates, but in recital C, pricing, that's where you will see the contract price shall be adjusted to reflect an increased 2.4%. So this is where we feel really good about locking them in for 2 more years. GSF is doing a great job for us. If you recall from years before, our previous company was really struggling with staffing, and the buildings were, you could tell, and they're staffed up, they keep the buildings clean, and they're doing a great job. So we would ask for board consideration to approve a 2-year extension with GSF.
Chuck, much better. We're happy with this agreement, correct? Much better. Yeah, they've really done a nice job. And Chuck and Mike and his team did a nice job of the due diligence 3 years ago when we moved from a company we had been with for quite some time. And this has really worked out for us.
Is it, go ahead, Rich.
Is this the end of our options to extend? So it'll have to go out to bid again, or how does that happen? I mean, 2 years is going to go quick.
2 years is going to go quick. We can take a look. If it's typically what you can do is extend annually. What you can't do are multi-year extensions after that, but you can do 1-year extensions unless there's other significant interest or we want to go back out to bid or something like
Right.
that.
I'm
But-
saying if we're,
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
if it's got to go back out in 2 years, I mean, you got to start planning it this time next year.
Right. It would not be, I don't want to speak for you. It would not be my interest with the service level we're at right now.
Right, that's
in
what I'm
doing
saying.
that.
If we're
Yep.
happy with it,
Yeah.
are we at the end of the rope, or we can just keep doing extensions?
No, we just can't do multi-year extensions.
Okay.
So I have to ask a question then. So we can't do multi-year extensions, but we're doing
This is I'm sorry. So the original contract was 3 years with the option to extend 2 years. This we can
Got
do.
it.
After this, we
Got
can't
it.
do multi-year extensions. Yep.
And it's increasing 2.4% this year, or is it 2.4% total? 2.4% each year?
2.4% for this upcoming year and another 2.4 after that.
Got it.
Yes, sir.
Just want to make sure I was.
Yeah, sorry if I was unclear. I
No,
apologize.
it said CPI in there, and then it was 2.4. I just wanted to make sure what the increase was.
Yep.
Any other questions? All right, with that, I'd entertain a motion to approve the custodial services contract extension with GSF as presented.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please open the vote.
Voting is open. The votes are unanimous. Motion passes.
All right, next up is a report for a meeting that has not yet happened yet, I believe. So,
Correct, we had to reschedule a meeting, but we do have a July meeting as well, so, yes, meeting's not till June.
okay. I was like-
Futurist,
I was like,
future
that's-
Dana says there's gonna be a meeting on June.
I was gonna say, look, I'm interested to hear this report. All right, next up, community relations
Yeah,
report.
Community relations, FOIA, and buildings and grounds are all in your backup materials for your review.
All right. So skipping right over those next three. All right,
Leg-
legislative report.
Legislative, really nothing to report. We're going to see how everything settles in Springfield. They did make a good decision. We've had some discussion about the 2-year world language requirement. That is now off the table. It's kind of dead in the water. It wouldn't have worked anyway. So that was one of the things. Some of the collective bargaining stuff that came out in terms of remediation plans. Going to kind of see where that falls. And then the big thing for us will be the funding mechanisms of what kind of happens. It does appear that we'll be okay in EBF and possibly the overall educational budget. It's just going to come down to those prorations. For us, not terribly significant because it's such a small percentage, but it is impactful in those particular programs. If they take away another 10% from, from our students that are outplaced, or 10% in our special ed transportation, those start to add up pretty quickly. So we'll continue to monitor that and kind of see where they fall, but we don't have an indication yet where that final number will be.
They may call a special session as well.
That's what it looks like. There may be a special session to see if they can keep a football team around. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I don't know if there's any educational language that would be on the horizon. I had a meeting last week with my Illinois high school group, and it seems like dodged a couple bullets. The world language thing being the big one, because I just don't know how we could have done that.
I mean, if they do call a special session for the Bears and they do come up with some pilot language or whatever they're talking about, I mean, it could impact us down the road.
Could
I mean,
potentially.
But
Yeah.
it's a wait-and-see approach, I guess.
Yep.
Anything from the superintendent?
No, the only thing is, in August, we'll have new Board Docs software. That's Michelle's fault. That's not mine. No. Board Docs is moving over to a new programming and platform. It will be fine. We'll get the training and everything ready to go prior to our August meeting. And, you know, I can't speak for everyone else, but I've been happy with our transition of Board Docs here over the last 4 or 5 years. It's really helped things, and I think that they've been a good company to work with, so I'm sure our move will be seamless.
Everyone show up early, though, for that first meeting in August.
A couple minutes, just to make sure. It's probably been 8. It's probably been 8. I don't know.
No, I'll tell you what.
It's-
It was before my first, this is 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years?
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
time
it's
flies
been
when
a
you're having
while.
fun. Yeah, it's been a while, but we've been really happy with this company. There are several other out there, but I think that they've done a nice job working with us, and they always answer the phone, so.
Rich, you look nervous.
Technology, Rich.
Yeah. Anything,
As long as the password and everything transfers over,
You're good to go.
that's half the battle, right?
any other district business?
No, none of this time.
Any correspondence?
None, nope.
All right, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session to discuss the employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of employees and student disciplinary cases.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, we are in closed session, and there will be some action after closed session. Yep, we're back in open session. I would entertain a motion to uphold the suspension of student 2026-1.
Second?
A motion and a second. Can you please open the vote?
May you maybe call those votes?
Yeah,
please?
we can call these, yep.
1 second. Okay, I'm gonna go through everyone's name and
Sure.
say or nay. Dana Berthold,
Aye.
Catherine Johnson,
Yes.
Joe Costick,
Aye.
Rich Lacine,
Aye.
Caitlin Olenek, Deidre Stokes, Mr. Janik.
Aye.
1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6 ayes and 1 abstain. The motion has passed.
All right, next up, we have a motion, or I would entertain a motion to approve the expulsion agreement for student 2026-2 as discussed in closed session.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the vote.
Dana Berthold,
Aye.
Catherine Johnson,
Yes.
Joe Costick,
Aye.
Ms. Stokes, Rich Lacine,
Aye.
Caitlin Olenek, Mr. Janik.
Aye.
This motion is unanimous. Motion passes.
Next up, I would entertain a motion to approve a 5-year contract for Dr. Mike Dubak as deputy superintendent and then as superintendent beginning in the 2028-2029 school year.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Can you please call the vote?
I would
Dana
like
Burt?
to, any discussion?
Oh, yes, sorry. Any discussion?
Yes. I would just like to, I would like to state that I want to be clear as it relates to my position and why I will not be in support of this motion. It doesn't diminish the valuable contribution that Mr. Dubak has made to this district, nor is it addressing any of the contributions that he has made. It is because of the process that we have not, that has not taken place for such an important position that is in our district, which is really equivalent to the chief executive officer of this district. I think we must ensure that the process is one that is transparent, one that we have used due diligence. And also, I think if in fact, after having a process, that he in fact would be the best candidate, it would strengthen his position and the legitimacy of that selection. And for that reason would be the reason why I will not be voting in support of this at this time.
Any further comments from anyone else?
I would like to speak as well. I so eloquently support, or I support Deirdre's eloquent speech there, agreeing that I am a huge fan of you, Mike. I appreciate your knowledge and understanding, and explanations are clear and pointed and very much appreciated. I am also not in support because I don't appreciate the lack of process as well. And I would have liked to been 5 million % sure that we are making the best decision for the district, and that the perceptions are not that we just continue to appoint within the district for the sake of keeping our great administrators. So I also will not be able to support at this time.
Any further discussion? All right, do you want to?
I'm gonna
Roll call.
call the votes.
Yep.
Dana Berthold,
No.
Catherine Johnson,
Yes.
Joe Costick,
A very strong, unequivocal yes.
Deidre Stokes,
No.
Rich Lacine,
Aye.
Caitlin Olenek, and Mr. Janik.
Aye. Any discussion? Hearing none, can you please call the vote?
Dana Berthold,
Aye.
Catherine Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Costick,
Aye.
Deidre Stokes,
Aye.
Rich Lacine,
Aye.
Caitlin Olenek. Mr. Janik.
Aye.
This vote is unanimous. Motion passes.
Next, I would entertain a motion to approve a 4-year retirement contract for Assistant Superintendent Dr. Brian Murphy.
So moved.
Second, sorry.
All right, can you please call the vote?
Yes, sir. Dana Bartholt,
Aye.
Katherine Johnson,
Yes.
Joe Costick,
Aye.
Deidre Stokes, Rich Lessine,
Aye.
Caitlin Olenek, Aaron Janik.
Aye.
This motion is unanimous. Motion passes.
Next, I'd entertain a motion to approve a 4-year retirement contract for Assistant Superintendent Dr. Renee Goldie.
So moved.
Second.
Like, when I asked for the motion, someone's got it. I'm just kidding. All right, can you please call the vote?
Aye.
Katherine Johnson.
Yes.
Joe Costick,
Aye.
Deidre Stokes, Rich Lessine,
Aye.
Caitlin Olenek, Aaron Janik.
Aye.
This motion is unanimous. Vote passes.
And last, I would entertain a motion to approve annual contracts for district and school administrators as presented in closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the vote.
Dana Bartholt,
Aye.
Katherine Johnson,
Yes.
Joe Costick, Deidre Stokes, Rich Lessine,
Aye.
Caitlin Olenek, Aaron Janik.
Aye.
This motion is unanimous. It passes.
All right. My computer is about to die, so I think we're done for the evening. With that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, we are done. Next meeting is August 20th. Rich?
August 20th.
Yes.
Somebody call me, all right?